sitting down with Summer McIntosh. First of all, Summer, just can you take me through your experience in Budapest and how you felt like the world champs went for you overall?
Overall, I was definitely really happy with my results in Budapest. It was such an amazing experience leading up to the mini staging here we had as a team and going into such a beautiful place. I really enjoyed just the overall vibe that Budapest had, and just to have the huge crowd there. And for the first time, I've never really experienced something like that. Was really cool. But my swims were something that I'll always are very memorable to me, and I just think that I'll remember that for the rest of my life, just because it was my first kind of time getting on the podium at the world level, and it was some of the events that I really do enjoy and some of my favorite events, and it was just overall a really cool experience, and I have so much to learn from that and so much to continue to improve.
First off, you started in that 400 freestyle. Just being in that final heat, racing obviously Katie Ledecky, and then just all those other, world class athletes. How are you feeling heading into that race? And did you have a certain race plan you were trying to stick to?
Well, in the heats in the morning before the final, I felt really strong. I went 4-3 in the morning, and I felt pretty cruisy, and I knew that I had quite a bit of room going tonight. I didn't really into the night. I didn't really know exactly what to expect when it came to time, but I just really wanted to gain another opportunity to race someone like Katie, as it is such an honor to race beside her. And when I touched the wall, I was pretty surprised that I was under the 4-minute barrier, and something that not a lot of people get to do in their lifetime. And it was a really proud moment I had for myself. And that's one of the things that I don't think I would ever thought I would achieve. And to achieve something like that beside Katie was really incredible.
Did you have a goal time coming in, or is that something that was even on your radar heading into this specific competition?
I don't really like to set goal times. I just don't think that works for me as well, rather than just going in and trying my best when it comes to a certain race strategy. And I think that I'll continue to use that and not really set exact goal times in the future. Maybe at some point I will start to set goal times, but for now, I just think it works for me just to do whatever I can in the pool and not focus on a specific time, because it also can be limiting in a certain way. If like I probably wouldn't have said to try to go 3:59, I probably would have said like 4 minutes or something. So yeah, I'm glad I didn't set a goal time for that one. But yeah, I don't think I would have ever thought I would go 3:59.
On another end of the spectrum, in that 400 IM, especially coming in with the best time that you had set just a few months prior, were you feeling any pressure at all heading into that final, knowing, okay, if I perform, if I go close to my best time or go my best time, there's a very good shot I could become a world champion?
Going into the 400 IM final, it was the last race I had. I was definitely a little bit tired because I had a few races before that. But I was just excited to do another 400 IM and race for the first time on the world level against some really tough competitors. And I didn't really feel any sort of pressure going into it. I just wanted to see what I was capable of. The only pressure I felt was with my own expectations I had for myself, which was just to try my best and execute the race as well as I possibly could. And my training going into that race was really good, and I had a lot of confidence I gained from that. So I just continued that momentum that I had from the 429 into the Worlds 400 IM. And I was overall pretty happy with the results of obviously placing first. I know the time was off compared to my 429, but I know where I went wrong in the race and where I can improve on, and what I can do in training to work back to going that time again, or obviously improving as well. So I think that there was a lot of good takeaways that I could get from that. And obviously I was happy with the placement, but at the time I wasn't as happy with.
What weren't you specifically happy with? Not about the time, but just about that race and, that final particularly. What do you feel like you could do better in terms of that execution?
Well, I compared my splits from the 429 and the 432, and I just watched both races side by side. And the 432, I was out really fast in the first 200. And I think I overworked the backstroke quite a bit. And that hurt my breaststroke way more than it should have. And I think going into Commonwealth, I'll focus more on being strong in the backstroke, but not overworking it. So I have a way stronger split on the breaststroke, because that's what was so good in my 429, and I've been really working on my breaststroke and training and tweaking some things in my technique to be able to hold my stroke better and my stroke rate and stuff like things like that. So I think where I went wrong at Worlds was more of the breaststroke split, and that's where I can really improve on.
Heading into, obviously world champs and now Commonwealth Games, you have so many possible individual events you could compete in and focus on. How have you and your coach and your team narrowed that down for both Budapest and now Com Games in terms of just events you're focusing on?
Well, obviously I couldn't really do the 400 and the 200 freestyle because the finals are literally back to back. So I had to pick between those two, and I picked the 400 just because I think I'm stronger in that race right now, and I really want to race someone like Kaylee. I think just another experience to race the 400 on the world level is something that I really need to continue to do. And when it comes to my other races, I'm really excited. So for something like the 200 which I haven't swam yet on the world level, and haven't really exactly done a lot in the past couple of years when it comes to racing. So that one will just be a fun one to see what I can do in that and see where I am, because I do have a good 400 so usually I can go into 200 And obviously I'm really excited for the 400 free because Titmus is doing it, so I'll get to race her, which will be probably a similar experience racing someone like Katie because they're both really fast.
It sounds like it, but do you thrive off of those, racing these top of the top pack athletes at competitions like the Worlds or a Com Games?
Yeah, for sure. I think close quarter racing has been something that I've always really wanted to do and haven't really done a lot of. And every time I dive in the pool, like for at Worlds, like for the 200 fly, so much adrenaline and so much energy I had just off the crowd and the people around me in the lanes. I got and just gave me so much momentum to touch the wall first. So I think I really do like the close racing, even though it might not be as close with someone like Titmus or Ledecky. But just even to race people like that who are just so fast, and just to have that experience and to just see how long or how close I can stay to them is something that's really helpful as I continue on with my swimming career.
So coming into Com Games, you said you don't really like to set time goals. What do you have goals heading into this meet, and if so, what do those look like for you?
I think more on the recovery side, maybe. I have a few more goals, just seeing how much I can recover better. Because going to the 400 final at Worlds, I was definitely a little bit tired. So it's just like the small things like eating right after your race or doing an extra 100 warm down and stuff like that, I think I can focus more on when it comes to recovery. But when it comes to actual times or placements in the final, I don't really have any exact goals. I just want to maximize whatever I'm possible of doing. And I'm just really excited to race a few new people and a few of the same people in my events. So I'm just looking forward to racing again.
Last question. Can you pronounce your last name for me?
Mac-In-Tosh.
Mac-In-Tosh.
It doesn't have an A, but it is Mac-In-Tosh. Yes.
Okay. All right. There's been speculation.
Yeah, so you say McIntosh. I'm like, no, it's Mac-In-Tosh.
Yeah. I was hearing McIntosh, and so
McIntosh.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Mac-In-Tosh.